Now, just before I start today's video, I want to go ahead and ask if you guys can leave a like, share, and subscribe, especially if you like that, stupid intro. I really like creating content, even if it is for, this game, because I do like this game, and I'm sure every single person watching this does too, be it, maybe a love-hate relationship, but we all do it for the love of the game, Anyways, that's enough of me rambling, let's just get on to the video. I have never seen so many people be upset with Netease in any other season than this current one, season 6.5. People are so angry. So, let's talk about it. As of the last few weeks, people have been raging about the balance in the game. Now, this isn't anything new per se. People are always complaining about something in the game. But man, I have never seen the entire player base rally together with pitchforks in regards to the current state of the game as much as now. And honestly, that should say something about the game. The top characters since launch are still at the very top of the food chain. Poke is still incredibly strong, and Tank still feels miserable to play. It's the same rodeo we've been going through for a while now. However, before I go any further, I'm gonna need people to chill the heck out because some of y'all are getting pretty outrageous. I cannot tell you how many videos and comments I have seen within the past few days of people demanding Netease to let go of Zeong. Those who know, and I'm gonna let you all know right now, that's overdoing it. Look, I get it. I get the frustrations players are having when it comes to the current state of balance in the game. I mean, look at my channel. I critique the game a lot even outside of balance, but that's because I love the game. I want to see it improve, and in order to improve, you need critical feedback on things that just don't hit. Things that just don't stick that landing. Otherwise, things won't change. But I would never just resort to the calling of somebody's removal from the development team. It's horrible and just straight up insensitive of people to be doing that to the developers. You don't think they're working hard on the game? These dudes have to live, breathe, and eat Marvel Rivals, even if it isn't specifically on the things you as an individual want. Is that to say that they don't make mistakes or don't lack the correct priorities? Absolutely not. I have no idea why we've been doubling down on crowd control and still don't know why 6.5 seasons in. But we have to make sure not to dilute our critiques of the game into straight up personal attacks to the developers. That's just when we lose the plot. My take on it is, if you're calling for the firing of Zeong, that just means you really never had anything of value to say about the game to begin with.
Hey, you shut your face! If we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet.
For crying out loud, it's only been a little over a year. Some people are acting as if this has been going for 5 years. Now, am I saying what's going on right now is acceptable? No. But like I said, y'all gotta chill out sometimes. Otherwise, there's gonna be so much noise that ain't no one gonna listen to anybody. Now, I'm not putting the blame on players here. A lot of changes Netease does to the game comes with very little to no reasons on why they made the changes to begin with. Those patch notes that we get only come with those terrible, unfunny ChatGPT lines above the changes of a hero. Like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this information? What in God's name am I supposed to do with this? Like when they buffed Invisible Woman up the ass. Did they think we would just look at that little quote and be like, and be totally fine with how busted they just made her? No! Oh, hold on guys, I got exclusive information about some Magneto changes coming in Season 7. Here are the patch notes. We see the changes written down for us, but the only thing we can ask is why? Of course, changes such as buffs and nerfs to characters who need it are self-explanatory on what they got it for, but the factor of why is still left out. Like, why did you decide to nerf/buff them in this way instead of the other? Even during those developer talk videos, the most we get in terms of actually seeing the developers talk about the state of the game's balance is, wow, Phoenix performed really well this season. We see that Magneto and Emma and Strange are still dominant. And it's like, and? 50 more Luna and Invis skins. I think a lot of the frustrations of the player base can be soothed out if Netease just explained why they do the changes they do and lack thereof. Blizzard does something like that for Overwatch. They have these things called developer notes in which they explain why they made the changes they did. It gives a lot more insight when reading the patch notes. If Netease does this, regardless if we feel the changes might be terrible or not, it will still at least give us an idea on where their headspace is at and what they're trying to go from a design philosophy point of view. The impact of not knowing is a lot more detrimental than they think, and I feel like a lot of us players need to know what the devs are thinking. Otherwise, it feels like we're in this weird limbo state of being so lost and confused as to why the game is where it's at right now. Because without knowing why things are the way they are, players will cook up their own conclusions. People will say Netease is being random, Netease has severe favoritism. One thing that would definitely help is addressing the concerns of players a lot more quickly and efficiently. A simple, hey, we hear your concerns on X topic, we just want to let you know we're actively working on a way to alleviate said issue in some way, shape, or form, but it might take some time. We'll keep you updated on our progress as the weeks roll. Something like that would do wonders, honestly. So with Netease's lack of transparency, that can lead to a lot of bad things, misconceptions being the main one. People begin to come up with their own conclusions on why some things are the way they are, and I myself am guilty of that too, but I won't ever talk about my speculations as being the truth, so to speak. In fact, I'm always asking you all who may know better to correct me on things I get wrong or am seeking knowledge on. I'm not afraid to make a mistake, as I don't really, make these videos of mine under the guise of being some guru or some shit like that. A lot of content creators and streamers in this space who do put so many hours in the game don't really like to admit that they're wrong when they are. And I get it. You put in so many hours into the game that you have to keep up this idea that you are the all-knowing. But not to yap on and get off topic, I want to talk about the misconceptions people can have when they lack information. For example, a common thing I've heard people say and people write up is, how can they have Ignite, an esports league, and be so bad at balancing? Well, I mean, it's kind of funny, isn't it? Here's the thing though, the Mar Rivals Ignite stuff and all those esports logistics are all ran by a separate division at Netease. The developers of the game probably have little involvement with that side of the game. Hell, the game developers and the esports divisions are probably in a separate building and areas, but don't quote me on that. They might even barely talk to each other. Now, I'm not going to say that this is exactly how things are with Netease and Rivals, but for the most part in a lot of the video game industry, a lot of the competitive games with developers and balance teams operate in an almost detached manner from anything esports related. The ones who give the green light and all of the esports stuff are the higher ups at Netease, not Guangguang nor Xiong. There are other cases of misconception on Rivals that are different from this, but if I talked about it, we'd be here for like 2 hours. So at the end of the day, feel free to make speculation, but also be open to be corrected and receive contextual knowledge on things you may be wrong about. That's all I ask, and I think that should be the bare minimum. A lot of people will say yes to this, and I don't blame them. I myself think the balance of the game is all over the place, and I made a video a few months back about how the developers seem to be prioritizing speed over quality in the game. I legit think that the balance team just can't keep up with how much content and heroes is being pushed out. Now, a lot of people gave me flame for saying that the devs should chill out when it comes to the rate of heroes for a time, and for them to really just take a moment to sit back and properly analyze. I think Rivals is scared that if it doesn't churn out content every month, the game's done. I know in the case of live service games, updates and content are very important. You almost have to be consistently changing in order to survive. However, I think there is a thing of doing too much content. Look at Blade. That man has been left out in the dust for ages. Right now, we are in an environment where if a hero comes out and they suck balls, that's it, bro. GG's. You're staying that way. On the other hand, if you come out busted, I mean, it's GG's for us, the players, because that character is staying like that for the next few months. Minus Johnny, who was actually broken, but it still took a while for them to nerf him. Look, I'm not going to be the one to call for anybody to be fired. Like I said in the first point, if that's what you're coming to in terms of a conclusion or a solution for the problem in the game, then you're just a lost cause. If things continue to be the exact same in 3 years, then maybe you might be onto something. But right now, nah. Now, this isn't me just trying to downplay 1 year's worth of pain, but it's like in the grand scheme of a multiplayer live service game, 1 year is still pretty much in its infancy. However, again, I'm not saying that, this is all okay. I'm still calling for change, but I just want people to be aware of that. We are 6 seasons into this game, almost 7, and people are just angrier than ever, for good reason. What's been strong in the game since day 1 is still very strong today. Certain characters that need buffs haven't gotten substantial changes to get them out of the low tier zone. Things people don't like CC, have been doubled down on. Magneto. It's a lot, man. It really is. However, to give some shred of optimism here, Netease may finally be paying attention. They might have finally gotten the message. Sort of. So earlier this month, they put out an emergency patch / hotfix or whatever you want to call it. And in that patch, Hela, Hawkeye, Phoenix, and Elsa were all in it. They tried to address the deadliness of Hawkeye, Hela, and Phoenix while also fixing the weird, buggy Elsa ult. Was it a great hotfix minus the Elsa changes? Not really. And a lot of people are just ragging on Netease on this hotfix. But guys, wait, hold up, keep complaining. Keep showing them how much you care about the game, because at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We want to have fun in this game, and sometimes it's incredibly hard to do so when there are so many flaws. The fact that they finally put out a hotfix addressing some specific concerns people have been telling them for God knows how long is a great sign. Shit patch aside, we need more and better of this. However, I need people to know when to not cross a line, because it's very easy when it comes to criticism to pass over the line of critique onto just borderline, unconstructive, and unreasonable hate. That's the part I don't want to see the player base go over to, because if we all reach that point, then this game's done. I truly think that would be the case. But yeah, anyways, just closing, I think the main takeaway of this video is Netease, just be more open about the things you were deciding. I think if you at least do that, at least it would alleviate some of the pain people are feeling. Granted, the stupid choices will be happening, but we'll all at least be in the same wavelength to be able to communicate with each other properly. Not just, hands out in the dark, just searching out for something. Anyways, that's it for me today. I don't even know if this would be considered a rant. Not really, maybe. But if you guys enjoyed watching and want to see more of this, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And stick around to the channel because, we've been growing together and I want to, grow together more. So I hope you guys all stick around for the ride. This is Nen signing off. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.